You're listening to Inside Lebo, a podcast giving you an inside look at Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office.
Hello and welcome to Inside Lebo. I'm your host, Assistant Municipal Manager and Municipal Planner, Ian McMeans.
And I'm Mount Lebanon's Assistant Public Information Officer and Senior Editor of Mount Lebanon Magazine, Rachel Windsor.
So in today's episode, we're talking about one of the most popular programs here in the municipality that gives residents a first-hand look at what it's like to be a Mount Lebanon firefighter, the Citizens Fire Academy.
It's a free 10-week course that's hosted by our fire department. So you get a chance to use the fire hose, see live demos in the training facility, climb stairs wearing full firefighter gear, and so much more. So our guests today are Lieutenant Steve Noorbakhsh from the Mount Lebanon Fire Department and resident Hannah Kramer, who completed the academy last year. So Steve and Hannah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Great. So let's start with the basics. When did the fire department start offering the Citizens Fire Academy?
So the Citizens Fire Academy was started about 20 years ago, and it's really just there to give the community a chance to learn who we are and what the services are that we offer.
And what are some of the main activities or topics that are covered during the academy?
Yeah, so we offer an overview of the department structure and services the first night, along with a station tour and equipment overview. We have a vehicle rescue night where participants get to play with the jaws of life to cut open cars that we roll over for them. On engine company night, we let you flow water out of our hose lines and break down doors and climb our 105-foot ladder truck. Through all the nights, you get to wear the same gear that we wear into a fire. And we have a Fireground Scenarios Day where we actually show you what it's like to fight a real fire in a coordinated attack. My favorite part of the program is the ride-alongs, where you get to actually sign up for a time slot to ride along with us for 3 hours and see what a day in our life looks like.
Very cool. So Hannah, which of those were your favorite?
Oh my gosh, so many. There's something about flowing 150 gallons of water out of a fire hose and the technique that actually takes, down to climbing the ladder truck and having that opportunity and braving those heights and feeling really confident about yourself after that, down to the practicality of learning how to use a fire extinguisher. We're all supposed to have one of those in our homes, but when push comes to shove, would you actually know how to use it in a stressful situation? I know I didn't know there was a pin in the side that you had to pull out before you squeeze an aim. So that was really useful, but favorite part was doing the ride-alongs and really getting to know our fire department on a personal level because they're our neighbors. And we just are so blessed to have such a wonderful department filled with skill and fun personalities, and they're just great people.
Great. And one newer addition as well is the state-of-the-art training facility that was completed last year. I know we did a podcast on that with our former fire chief, Nick Sahida, and everyone else that put a lot of time and effort into that training facility. So now that facility is up and running, what does that enable us to do with the Citizens Fire Academy?
Sure. In its simplest form, it lets us to use that building as if it's a real house or a real apartment building, where we can stretch lines through the building and flow water. We can force entry in through the building, throw ladders against the building, and not worry about actually damaging somebody's property. So we can perform as if it's a true fireground activity in a true home layout. And the simplest one is it saves us a lot of time. In previous sessions, we would have to drive an hour and a half in each direction to go to a fire academy to actually set up. That's all time that we take away from getting to do the hands-on skills.
Cool. And Hannah, you were in the first group ever that actually got to be in that facility pretty soon after it opened. What was that like?
We're privileged for sure. I know we got to use that facility before some of the firefighters even got to use it, which they were okay about, but a little unhappy and jealous at the same time. It was really cool. When Noorbakhsh sent out the email saying that we were going to push our burn day a few weeks because this facility was being built, I didn't really know what it was going to entail, but he was like, it's 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday. And I thought, how are we going to utilize all of that time there at the facility? But we did. We were in small groups, and we did a simulation of there's smoke in the building, and we had to blindly run in all of our gear to go shoot water out of the window, and we threw ladders up on the building, and we're climbing those and carrying hose packs up, and then the burn simulation, which was really, really cool, and it just takes a lot more effort, and even the teaching aspect of it for the firefighters to actually know how to teach in that type of setting too is really cool.
Great. So we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll talk more about who can participate in future Citizens Fire Academies and how to get involved. We'll be right back with more Inside Lebo. Welcome back to Inside Lebo. We're here today talking with Fire Department Lieutenant Steve Noorbakhsh and former participant Hannah Kramer, who recently completed the Mount Lebanon Citizens Fire Academy. So the program typically runs in the fall. So Lieutenant Noorbakhsh, what are some of the dates and where sessions are held? So if people are looking at potentially doing it, they can know when to maybe start blocking off their schedules.
Sure. All of the sessions are held now in Mount Lebanon, given that we have the new training facility. The program starts on September 17th, and it runs on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. The last session on Wednesday nights is November 5th, and then we have a Saturday session that is most of the day, and that's when we actually do our evolutions at the Fire Academy.
And are there any requirements for people to sign up?
Our only requirements are that you have to be 18 years old and either a resident or a business owner in Mount Lebanon.
Cool. And so to sign up, is they just call the fire department? Is it through the website? What's the process for signing up?
To sign up, go to our website. We have a link there to a simple Microsoft form that they fill out with information, their demographic information, and that information comes to me, and I send out the welcome invite.
Great. So switching gears a little bit, Hannah, what made you decide to participate in this program?
Yeah, so I'm a stay-at-home mom to 3 young children. It doesn't leave me a lot of opportunity to get to know neighbors and our community and utilize our community to its full potential. So I learned about this program 2 years ago at a farmer's market with Noorbakhsh. I was pregnant with my 3rd child, like 7 months pregnant, and he's like, you cannot sign up to do this pregnant. And now I know why, because it's really intense. So me and my husband just kind of signed up this time around, and we used it as date night every night, and it was a way to meet people in our community, and we live in such a wonderful community with such wonderful resources, and I've gained friends out of it now. So it was really cool, and I highly recommend everybody to give it a try.
That's great. So just out of sheer curiosity, is there anything you learned about the fire department that you didn't know that they did before doing the program?
Yeah, so I was always one of those people, admittedly, when you see a car crash, and you see the fire department show up at the car crash with the police, and you're like, why are you here? But I learned things like there's 2 people in an ambulance at a time, and if there's an emergency and the fire department's there, helping to clean up and do so much, even with entrapments and stuff, that they're actually the ones that will drive the ambulance if need be, if the 2 paramedics are in the back, which I never knew that, and that was mind-blowing.
Great, and this question's a little bit more for Steve. Do participants need to be interested in firefighting or public safety to take part in the program?
They don't. Anyone who wants to have an understanding of what the services the department offers fit in well. Anyone who has ever dreamed of riding in a fire truck and looking at all the cool tools that we get to play with would have a lot of fun with it. And like Hannah said, anybody who wants to do this with somebody else, with a friend or a family member, makes it even more enjoyable. We have a lot of fun working together.
Awesome. And I've heard that actually some of Mount Lebanon's volunteer firefighters got their start through the Citizens Fire Academy. So how often does that happen? Every
year we have a couple people that participated in Citizens Fire Academy that end up applying to join as a member. That isn't our original goal of the program. The goal is really the outreach and getting to know the community better and having them get to know us better and what services we offer. But it's always a nice perk when people go through the program and want to join us.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. We really appreciate Steve, what you do for the community and everything that the department does, and Hannah, thank you for taking part in this program. And
thanks
now
for
you
having
can
me.
Also spread the word to others about the great things that the Citizens Fire Academy has and that the department does. And when your kids get a little bit older, I know there's the public safety camp in the summer that my kids did and really enjoyed. So keep an eye out for that one too. As Steve mentioned earlier, you can check out the Mount Lebanon Fire Department website, mountlebanon.org/fire, for more information on A, what the department does, and B, look for that form to sign up for the Citizens Fire Academy when that goes live, probably later this summer as they get into the fall when it starts in September.
Yeah, so again, Steve and Hannah, thank you so much for joining us, and it sounds like there will be another fun year ahead of Citizens Fire Academy. That'll be it for this edition of Inside Lebo, produced by Marsha Morgenstern, with music by Drew Monod and graphics by Chris Leeper.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and be sure to subscribe for future episodes, and we'll see you next time with more from Mount Lebanon.
Thanks for listening to Inside Lebo, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office. Learn more about all things Lebo at mountlebanon.org or by following our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.